Welcome to Gem Collectors Show with Shawn. I am still that Shawn, and I'm so glad to see that all of you have made it back to the show. It may seem a little bit different, but those of you that are used to watching it know exactly how and where to find me. For those of you that are new to this 4-year-long running podcast series that I've been doing it here at Gem Shopping, and 10 years the live show before that, well, all you have to do is be subscribed to Gem Shopping YouTube alerts. You'll get those at any time to view this show, or just go and type in Gem Shopping in the YouTube account. Now remember, I am of a little bit different generation, so I may not know quite all that lingo, but after a great rundown by our production director as to what exactly to say to all of you so you can find the show, I might just have an inkling of how it's done by all generations. So now, remember, you're also able to ask Shawn any questions and comments that you may have, and that is easily done just by going to the Gem Shopping site, and you'll be able to see the Gem Collector Show with Shawn. Follow it from there. Very easy to figure out. That's also where you'll be able to leave your answers for the trivia contest that you have heard so much about. We do it every show. We post a new show up every week. So bear along with me, all of you, and we're going to work the kinks out. But other than that, I welcome everybody and all of my lovely past clients and friends, and a whole another level of them as well. So we have comments left from last week's show. Let's get to them, and then we'll get to the trivia answer that we do at the end of every show. You're free to take notes, and of course, you can always rewind and get to see the items. The items are available 24/7, as you know. Just call the number on your screen, and really wonderful, wonderful sales help will be right there at your fingertips any time of day. So let's get started with the comments, is how we normally do this, and begin the fun. Now, ready, set? Not so many this week, so it'll go by quick, which is fine. Have a lot of wonderful mineral specimens. And those of you have been noticing that they've been getting pretty, pretty unique, a little deeper in my inventory. So you're getting into some other not so common mineral specimens. And I think today's trivia gift just might cause some trivia gift envy. All right, so here we go. We're going to start off with Peg from South Carolina. Now, mind you, we have international people that send in and comment. So doesn't matter where you are, you can just ask Shawn and that leave me the comments, and very simple little instructions on how to do that at the Gem Shopping website. Peg, South Carolina. Hello, Raven, Shawn, and the whole wonderful rock family. Of course, everyone, most everyone knows Raven as, my incredible, very knowledgeable soulmate and fellow rock hound that actually got into it a year before my 11 years old. Yeah, 10 years old, she was collecting rocks. So we have, between us, I think I was figuring up the other day, just shy of 100 years of rock hunting experience. Not too many people can say that. I finally got the aquamarines I wanted. Now I have both colors that will be displayed side by side. And here's the neat thing. Peg in South Carolina actually missed out on a pair of aquamarines that I had offered. And she wanted both the natural colors. And I had intentionally done that as part of the parcel. The original green, which, hey, if you wanted to heat treat them, you can burn that green off and just leave blue. But you know what? Aquamarine translates to sea water. There's a reason why aqua was originally named seawater, because of a Fe+2+3 ion interchange that aquamarine unheated will often have a green cast to it. Many people prefer that pretty blue color. I like them natural. but it's neat to see. You can actually get, of course, natural beautiful blue crystals or the Santa Maria blues, which are very expensive and very desirable, that haven't been heat treated. But being kind of the purist that I am, I like to leave Mother Nature alone in most cases. So, as so many of you are very helpful and really such an honor system, you know, it's kind of like buying tomatoes at a roadside stand. And if you go up in New England, you see it more often than down here. But decades ago, I used to see it down here, where a farmer had more tomatoes or more corn or something. And it was a honor system, self-pay, you know, so many per pound for tomatoes. And money was left in the bucket. The money was left in the bucket or whatever container device they had. And that was never stolen. And I still see that occasionally around here. Warms my heart. So with the Aquamarine, it's kind of the honor system because I had gotten out another pair. She missed out on those. Someone else got them, which was fine. But I was able to arrange another 2 crystal parcel that she was looking for, that greenish end of it and the bluish end. And that is what she's referring to about being able to get those. Trivia was a bit hard for me this time, but I'm going to try. She goes, I know the second answer is scolecite, but the first one stumped me. Limonite, she says. Always a great show. So I look forward to Monday so I can see your happy hair-covered face. Really. Oh, you hear that? Hear Raven laughing over there? The weather is so much better this weekend. I hope you did enjoy it. Find your joy. See the doctor and dentist loves Peg. The weather just got here last night. In on a breeze, and this morning it was 49 degrees at 1,400 foot elevation in Forsyth County, only 2 miles from the original center of the gold rush, of course, to Georgia, which it is so well known for. Yeah, you know, I actually heard on a major news network about the gold rush, which, as the crow flies, originally started in a place called Silver City, which is only about 2 miles away from where I live. And it was part of the Cherokee Nation. We had an official treaty with the United States. Well, when outsiders encroached upon the Cherokee Indian Territory and found gold there, instead of the right thing and saying, hey, you broke a treaty, this belongs to the Cherokees, it was all about the Supreme Court actually getting involved. The Supreme Court ruled correctly that it belonged to the Cherokees, but Andrew Jackson at the time, President of the United States, sent in troops to reinforce the opposite of the order. And why I say that is gold fever is such a strong pull that it will cause you to break international treaties. At the time, Cherokees were considered their own nation, and then hence the Trail of Tears. But the things that have been done going after that gold, huh? You know, look, it actually settled the West, Sutter's Mill. So look at even in the Klondike Gold Rush. Who would have thought that there could be such a major gold rush in 1896 to the Klondike region of Alaska and Canada, and even now that gold rush is going on. Oh. Man, if I could only have a few $1,000,000 to go mining gold in Alaska. Okay, so let's get to the questions first, since you're getting ready to hear answers. Which, if you could pull the last week's show from there, please, ma'am, I'll be able to accurately read them. I write them down exactly as I speak them. So, because you know the little nuances, I often may trip you up, and if you're not listening closely, like the associated mineral with the other week. What was the associated mineral considered as a gemstone that were with the other zeolites? And people missed and didn't hear the associated word, because prehnite was the answer, yet prehnite is not a zeolite. Okay, so now, question number 1 was, remember, it got me so excited because at the beginning of the show, I showed that specimen with that amazing fluorite that had that muscovite matrix with that yellow clayey type material. And I said, what other mineral let's see, what exactly did I say? What other mineral found with the micromatrix from Astor District, Pakistan is found in it? So that yellow clay and muscovite mixture was so distinct in its color and formation that there was really should only been one other item that would have come to mind that looked like it. The answer being those pink apatites. Yeah, the pink apatites. Question number 2 is, what is the name given to black base color labradorite from Finland? I even gave you the country. So what is the other name? We know beautiful, beautiful material comes from Madagascar in labradorite, right? Well, I guess the highest end quality. And I actually, she said 3 times, it's not for sale, Shawn. I brought a specimen we'll show in a bit, a real piece of Finland spectralite, part of the Ravens collection. So you know you're going to be in for something really nice. Okay, so what that is the name. Answer being spectralite. So what is the name given to that material? Spectralite. So those are the answers. Okay, let's get to finishing the answers here by all of you. So that was Miss Peg coming really close, and that was a great answer, and that's a true answer. Limonite, it absolutely could have formed in that, but limonite, remember, is not considered actually a mineral. It's more of just an iron oxide. But a good answer nonetheless. We have Mr. Anthony in Massachusetts. Hello all, great show. Trivia, I think you were asking for a mineral that the yellowish material, sulfur-like looking, is also found with. I'm going with apatite. Ding, 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 ding. Great job there, Anthony. You are absolutely correct. The Finland variety of labradorite is spectralite. Well done again. Now, this is Mr. Brad. Mr. Brad, who is, of course, our resident fluorescent lover, among other people. And also, just so that for those of you that may not have seen me before and some of my craziness, you know, this has been something that I have enjoyed since a young boy. And part of anybody, if you're a woodworker, you got to have your tools, right? You love your tools. If you're any kind of hobbyist in whatever it is, you got to have your tools, Well, I have my tools. Being a master goldsmith, you can also watch the how-to videos in the section, the YouTube section. You'll see them. You'll see those other videos linked, and just start searching around. You're going to be amazed, because when I was looking for the new YouTube channel for this show, what did I see? But I saw those, I think we made like 30 of them. The YouTube videos on the how-to videos, which are everything you would want to know if you were working or having something done at the bench. So if you ever wanted to know how a ring was sized, or if you want to know, well, why does this ring in gold cost this much to size down, and when I take a platinum ring to my goldsmith, my jeweler, it costs so much more. Well, we delve into and show you all that. And it's funny. Not really funny, but I guess it was educational for me that, I don't know. Do I get to be called an influencer? I don't think so. But by the number of views I had on the how to drill a gemstone, last time I looked, because those of you listening know it wasn't that long ago, there were 45,000 views. It was actually when my son had told me, so it was about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. I just looked, 196,000 views. Wow. That to me is a lot of people want to know how to drill a gemstone. So either that or he found me very entertaining and just kept watching me over and over again. Maybe that was it, right? That big old hairy-faced man. Well, it was good to see that. Besides, so many other shows had thousands of views. So it tells me that there is a lot of you out there wanting to know the information that we have provided for you. So don't forget, Gem Shopping is a multi-tiered and layered company that we sell everything from, the earth sciences end of it here, to rings that have been, and pieces that have been 7 figures. So some of the highest and most beautiful jewelry you could imagine, all right here. And your level of knowledge goes from the earth science ground all the way to the finished product. Just enjoy and have fun, and you will learn along the way. Now, okay, for tools, look at this. Now, if we're just talking about ultraviolet light alone, this is probably my favorite. This is my favorite go to the closet piece. This is the long range, actually as a laser light in UV light, dangerous, used in the hands of children. Now, remember I said children, not an age limit, you know. Well, as Raven says, well, yes. Meaning us older people can be considered a child. This is the one that there's leftover stars on the ceiling from previous owners. You know, those little glow-in-the-dark stars. And from all the way from across the master bedroom, I lay there in the bed and I can draw on those stars. Because as soon as that laser, ultraviolet laser, goes across there, it energizes those stars and it lasts the longest time. Anyway, I have this tool for really a penetrating long wave signal, mostly for playing across the distance of a bedroom and getting accurate glowing represented in your crystals. It's like, let's try and find the fluorescent crystals across the bedroom. Again, being the overstated and have way too many rocks kind of people that we are. There we have so many out there, you can have a lot of fun sitting in one place, just going back and forth with it. Okay, we'll get to the next. All right, here, this is my other tool. This is long wave and short wave. And this is the short wave one I use. Now, short wave, of course, it does create a different wavelength of light. It's a more dangerous wavelength of light. So if you don't want to kind of mess and worry about that end of it, just stay with the long wave. Even though there are items that will fluoresce differently under shortwave, there are fewer minerals that will. Now, one of the well-known ones, gemstone-wise, to me, it's determining bonitoite. Bonitoite fluoresces an incredible blue, than it is, under shortwave. It's the only gemstone that really reacts under shortwave. So, okay, now also, just so you know that no respectable goldsmith should travel around without a handy dandy toolkit. And that's just pretty much part of how we travel. I actually travel with a little electrical power pack. As you've noticed, I have the little sanding and grinding pack. Well, we won't get into my eccentricities, but love those tools. All right. Now, so Mr. Brad in Pennsylvania says, to the answers, getting spectrolite correct. Muscovite mica and yellow matrix looks like dried mustard to me. By the way, did you know that mustard fluoresces? Miss Barbara from Brooklyn told me that. I don't know the answer, he says, to the other question on the trivia. Well, at least that's an honest answer, right? Honest answer is to not know the answer. So you did get a half star, Brad. Didn't win this week. Greetings to the Raven. That Shawn. Wow. The Raven. And then he said, greetings to the Raven, that Shawn, the Rock family, and last but not least, to the expert Scholasite wrapping department at Gem Shopping Network. Well done. And I forwarded that on, Mr. Brad, directly to my friend and long time employee here at Gem Shopping, Andy. And I asked him to read your comment aloud to everyone, including a section that I included as far as how amazing they have been in being able to wrap the scholasites. If it weren't for their ability to wrap a scholasite, I wouldn't be able to sell them. And so I be sure that those compliments often don't get relayed on to shipping. And I'm not one of those that am going to forget how appreciative I am of the other departments, especially someone that does such an amazing job for being able to get a crystallized specimen. And guess what? All of you are going to get to see what I'm talking about again today as far as the mineral scholasite. Oh yes, I'm just going to tease you for a minute now. All right, so, okay, greetings to the Raven and that Shawn. Somehow Mr. Brad, that doesn't quite sound as elevated as the Raven, but I'll take it. I got the beautiful Scolecite in the mail. I put it on the mantle, and my wife loves how the sunlight backlights it. Yay! That means I get to keep it. That's always important for, it doesn't work both ways. It only works pretty much one way. If the wife likes your latest treasure that you had put on the mantle, and boy, what a really special place that you have given it. A lot of reverence. And that specimen should, especially you got the one with the incredible still bite in the front. I know the one with the 3-legged wood stand on it. That looks great. And thanks for letting me know. I'm picturing it in my mind right now where it is. And I'm picturing in my mind where the empty place is, where it's not in our house anymore. Another great show. Thanks again and be well. My prayer for you this week is, may lightning strike your sandbox twice. One Fulgurite for the Raven and one Fulgurite for that Shawn. That Shawn sounds like, that Shawn, he's just a rascal, that Shawn. But the Raven sounds like the Raven soared to new heights today as she gracefully swept through the skies. Yeah, that's how I read it. But I'll take the Fulgurite anyway. I'm going to put a microphone on you yet. We're going to get you behind the mic here yet. And for those of you, Fulgurites are still in stock. If you have not gotten your, you can't even say it's organically grown. Organically grown gemstone would be like a pearl, would be like ammonite coming from the fossil ammonite, a pearl, of course, being grown in an oyster, or coral, beautiful coral. Those are organic gemstones. Well, a Fulgurite is a name given to a tube of glass created from the silicification of grains of sand, no bigger than usually about a pencil wide, which is the average width of a lightning bolt. And that's cool. I mean, it's something you can't control as far as how often they are, but it does make me wonder, two things have to happen. You can say, oh, there must be a lot of Fulgurites in the Sahara Desert. Well, no, you have to have what? Lightning. And being that it's a desert environment, that doesn't work, right? So you're not going to get the combination that it takes. Florida, on the other hand, is like one of the lightning states of the country, and they have rare sand dunes. So it's a special combination it actually takes of Mother Nature. Mother Nature piling up that nice, pretty white sand, and then having surrounding areas, having the sand dunes be some of the highest points, and then having, of course, as Florida very often does, I know, I lived there for a long time, has thunderstorms often pretty much every day throughout the summer in the afternoon. So you have a much higher, and we're talking over eons of time, certain areas will be lightning magnets, and certain areas, sand dunes higher up, lightning magnets. What do you get over time? Fulgurites. That guy is clever. I think to have mined those Fulgurites through a sand sifting operation, the mine operator didn't care what was left over in the sifters. He just wanted the nice, clean, finished sand. The operator, and this is over, he worked there like 2 decades, I understand, and collected and saved every single Fulgurite from there. And I think that's just a great story. They would have been lost, crushed to all time, gone forever, if he wouldn't have actually known that there was something unique and different. Okay, we have next Miss Gabby in Florida. Greetings, my friends. Have company this week and running late, if not too late. My trivia answers are apatite and spectrolite. Of course, nailing them both. Opting out. So that raises the chance for everyone else. Speaking of tektites, while I was in Arizona this past June, I ran across malavites. Many had rounded indentations that, according to a wonderful friend of mine, can be attributed to their speed, angle, distance traveled, etc. They entered our atmosphere. Can water also impact same? Of course, you have the Besanitsas. When the Moldavite tektites were created, there was a certain amount of ejection material that wound up in a small lake and in an area or place called Besanica. Well, the collecting area years ago encroached upon a state park, and they banned all collecting in the lake. Their impact in that lake in a moldavite leaves moldavite with a very distinct pattern, most of the time thinner, and sometimes just these beautiful, beautiful formations, almost like crystalline gold. Some really, really, when you see it, you say, oh, that's the best it needs. And of course, they, often 2 to 10 times the value, depending on the piece. So water certainly affects them when they impact back with water, as when they hit anywhere else. Even when you see a drop of rain come in at different angles, those big raindrops at the beginning of a thunderstorm, if you ever look real quickly at the splash they make, you get a feel for what a moldavite would do as it's in a kind of a molten state hitting that water. And it kind of projects out in a different way. So, yeah. There's not many tektite fields around the world. And for those that find the tektites, the moldavites themselves are actually one of the more common moldavites. There's like the Georgiites we talked about last week or the Australiites in Australia that are spread out over huge amounts of area. And it's so much more rare. But the moldavites by far are the only ones that are so gemmy and have that beautiful green color to them. Also been meaning to tell you that the reflooding of the selenite mines in Mexico has been in the works. It is too expensive to maintain keeping the water pumped out as of a couple years ago at the rate it was reflooding. It would be about 7 to 10 years, is what she had heard in the grapevine. Well, that's great news to know. And that's what's so nice about all of you out there and adding to the comments, which I invite in, because we get then a community forum for knowledge, which is shared as you see right here. So wonderful to know. And for those of you not familiar with what she's talking about is the Nika mines, N-A-I-C-A. Those are, and the very famous, National Geographic famous cave that basically mankind got to walk into a human laboratory, a living, growing geode of selenite crystals, 50, 60 feet long, 3-4 feet across. And the idea was always to reflood it. And I'm glad to see now that it's been confirmed that they're restoring it back to the way it was, reflooding it, and let them continue to do what a crystal does best. And that's grow, given the opportunity. You saw, all of you that have already been watching this podcast, we grew crystals right in this show. Week to week, it took 3 or 4 weeks. We're going to do it again. As more of you join the show, you're going to love it, and you're going to learn so much from it. And I love to do it. All right. It's great information there, Miss Gabby. Hi, Professor Raven and the whole Rock family, from Miss Barbara. Had lots of fun shopping today. Got a nice Florida Fulgurite to keep its Egyptian cousin company. The fishtail selenite for my white mantelpiece collection, and a big chunk of Labradorite. Raven. I just got what do they call it? The stink eye? Yeah, the stink eye from her, because that was her Labradorite. She's still not happy with it because it had purple in it. She thinks she's got a right to every Labradorite with purple in it. Hey, you go for it, man. I love the color purple with Labradorite. It's the rarest, most expensive color for those of you that don't know. The glue you are using to hold up the clear hemimorphite crystal rod is either called museum tack or gem tack, depending on where you shop. Probably cheap tack. Wonderful inside perky boxes with rough white inserts to hold specimens in place. No more nicks and crumbs from rattling around in their acrylic cages. Even good to keep vases upright around cats. Well, Dave would appreciate that because he has a new kitty. And last I saw, his kitty had found friends, and the friends found friends, and he's got a whole yard of them. But anyway, The other thing that's neat with using that museum tack also is that I've seen people use it for is to stick little tiny price tags onto mineral specimens, which is a great way to be able to keep up with them and keep the price adhered to them without losing it, which happens so often in shows. You end up with all these little miscellaneous pieces, and that stuff does work well for that. I'm right here there with you in forgetting to hit the send button. We referenced last week because some people, if their comments didn't get in, I said, last thing I always make sure I do is hit the send button on our phone. How many of us is like, I haven't heard back from Terry Sue. I'm so mad at her. I sent her this whole thing explaining my life's problems, and I didn't hear a single word back from her. Well, then, you're mad at her for 3 days. You go back to look at your phone, and you never hit the send button. And what you thought you were sharing all your woes with, never got. So I just want to make sure no one else does that. I certainly never have. But anyway, Miss Barbara admits that she has. My draft folder is my archive of shame. That's funny. Okay, seems all the orphan texts pile up there waiting to be rescued. Senior moment is my excuse. I'll go with that. At 60, I now count. Zowie, what a fabulous trivia prize for a UV mama, and the subject of a trivia question as well. The answer, I believe, is pink apatite from the Skardu Gilgit area of Pakistan. Getting it all right there, Miss Barbara. The other trivia answer is spectrolite from Finland. Correct there as well on both of those. And remember, all of you, that question stemmed from the free item, which was a very kind of, if I said go find another Pakistani fluorite, it's not as easy as you think. That was only mined as a byproduct in the area of mining the apatites, and it's not commonly found in that specific mine and locality. So it's actually quite a special piece, and it glowed purple. It's very fluorescent. And remember, in this show, we can test everything, because when we got into fluorescence, that was just fluorescence. We don't mess around. We have the gigger. Commonly also known as a very expensive Geiger detector. Oh, yeah. And another one of my, that one was a real treat when I had to treat myself to that one. And because it's one of those on a need to have basis, and on a need to have, it was a little lower on the chart, but boy, to have it now, and for all the other things I'm learning with it, and like who knew mustard would be fluorescent? I actually didn't, but I'm going to check it out now. And you know what? They said that bananas are supposed to be radioactive, and I'm sure all of you have heard it. And guess what? Truth of the matter being is, because they're high in potassium, right? You're going to have a certain amount. There's only three radioactive elements, but potassium-40 is one of them. It also is what help create ametrine. So we tie all this in together. The other thing is supposed to be Brazil nuts. Who would have thought? And technically, I guess if you ground them all up with a lot of surface area, because I did an average reading of both, and it fluctuates on an average, and it did not fluctuate out of that average a whole bunch of bananas or cashew nuts. So technically, though, they have found them, and you know why the Brazil nuts have come up that way? It is because of the ground they were grown in. Actually was, like so many areas of the ground, slightly radioactive. Remember, that's how you get natural green zircons that become metamic, is from natural radiation in the earth. How do you get other colored gems and minerals so often? Natural radiation in the earth. And so natural radiation in the earth, the Brazil nut tree takes it up, and in its environment, it is able to store that in the nut itself. No wonder sometimes I feel like a nut. So let's see. Okay, Shawn equals professor. Finally, some respect. Okay, Shawn, DDS. Not so much. Barbara, I like to read, the way I read your comments, I bet you appreciate it, because I read it like you mean it, with the sarcasm, humor, cynicism, and all those other traits involved in my answer. And that, of course, it was in reference to me saying how last week, if I sounded like I wasn't pronunciating correctly, because I had a sharp place on my tooth that made my tongue hurt. Well, I took a diamond file, and I'm really surprised you did not pull out the camera and do a little video of that. But I used a diamond file, and I was able, with one of those blow-up mirrors that you ladies hate to look at your face in, me too, after looking at it, take laughs over there, and filed down that sharp spot on my tooth. And you know what? What a dentist would have charged me, who knows? I did it. It worked. Tongue is healed. Dentist. Very MacGyver of you, and resourceful to boot. See, there we go. But how about planning a trip to a professional? I should have read that whole sentence. I was just going with the compliment instead of the actual better suggestion. The nicest thing about going to doctors is they have access to pain juice, which we don't. Oh, yes, good point. I do have a license to get those special gases, though. Yeah, whatever that could be. Tell Dad the pacemaker transmits to the bedside unit with no physical connection and out to a monitoring service via cell phone. We're referencing my dad tomorrow, as a matter of fact, is getting a pacemaker. He's 90, but I'm not talking about, he's a very virile, strong, mentally sharp 90 years old. You would not believe it. It's crazy. Once implanted, the pacemaker is adjusted externally via magnetism, which means visits to power generating stations and chatting while standing between the male theft detectors is out. Otherwise, it's transparent that it's even there. Cheap insurance against sudden failure. Yeah, I hope it makes him feel better. Mailman just brought last week's goodies. Both arrived with no crumbs. Aw, crumbs. See? Raven would be bummed if she didn't have some crumbs that showed up in a scolecite specimen. I took one yesterday, a scolecite specimen, turned it upside down, and she was there with her little box, like getting every one of them as they dropped out. And it's like, don't waste a one, Shawn. And so for those of you that receive any of these scolecites, if there is a crumb left over, certainly acceptable. I'm surprised that, and I'm so proud of our shipping department that they even take them on for me. So I'm just very thankful for that. And they have a great, great reputation. So that's why I told Andy to make sure that he read out the compliment that Mr. Brad gave on having received his scolecite in great shape. Hemimorphite is so delicate and sweet. Yellow lepidolite is so tightly packed its surface is almost botryoidal. Pleased as punch with both. Oh yeah, so hemimorphite, that one she got was stunning, that specimen, and so I'm glad to see it arrived there. Got to go log those into my collection and have a bit of dinner. Take care, everyone. Be safe out there. I knew there was something else I was going to bring in. Raven had got it for me a couple years ago, and I want to show everybody. There's actually an official rock logbook, and I want to show everybody that. So next week, remind me. Shawn, hello. This is from Miss Ursula. Shawn, hello, and a very good afternoon to you, Miss Raven, and all of our friends here at your podcast. It was a delight to see you had found your mojo again. You appeared pretty animated during today's show, especially when you decided early on what was going to be the first trivia question of the week. Yeah, that was exciting because I came up with a new idea, and that, of course, was to name what other mineral grew in that yellow muscovite type matrix, and we were looking for pink apatite or apatite. I only had to turn my head slightly to the right of me to be spotting one of my favorite apatite and muscovite specimens from the Chumar Bakur mine in Gilgit, Pakistan. Wow, see, she got everybody beat. That's the best way to get your answer, is from your collection of an item that looks exactly like it. And there you go. I have tried your toothpick trick to clear away some of the telltale yellow deposit, but came to the conclusion to leave well enough alone, LOL. We did too. In most all cases, we improved upon it some, but I didn't always have the time to sit there. Now, you would definitely need one of the optivisors, and then to go in with really kind of like a pick, or with a flat edge, and not necessary at all. But again, if you wanted to, specimen preparation is a big part of the price of a crystal specimen in the end. Somebody's time is being paid for. And on some of those, let's say that the formation was worth it to put the time in, what they actually will do is, in a specimen that has a lot of like that yellow matrix, it's difficult to get out, they will actually sit there and pay someone to clean and clear out every bit of that. You see these specimens in these museums, they didn't come out of the ground looking like that. Someone took the time, effort to prepare them, and that is a science in itself. And some of the great things that do work, and you just start off with an area at a time, is everything from water picks to electric toothbrushes to children's, for the softer items, children's that soft brush toothbrushes, those dental floss things, and those other tools I've showed you before. We'll be covering that again as we move forward. Let's see, okay. Even more astounding, your previous gift of a red zircon with biotite crystals nestles into the natural fold of the aforementioned specimen, looking as if they had grown in the same habitat all along. It's neat because a lot of them actually will form and grow together and can look very natural. I think I had told the story a number of years ago that I was being offered a specimen that it was about 2 by 1 foot or so by this respected dealer I had worked with on some other things before. And he said, I have a friend, and we had a little business in a stall that they all, a lot of different stalls. Boy, I'd like to go there. And it was in the heart of the mining district of Gilgit. And so his friend had offered, and we're taking pictures, offered this specimen that was for sale. And the price was about $1,500, okay? And it was like, like this. All right, now it had some aquas, it had some mica, it had quartz, it had apatite. Okay, I was going along with it as I'm looking at this, zooming in on it. But when I found, without a doubt, a telltale specimen of a dog-tooth calcite with pagoda calcite crystals growing up on it that, by the look of it, could be have come from nowhere else but the United States. Right then, I called on the whole deal. And the guy first denied it, but in the end, what happened, the way they do business in Pakistan it's like buyer beware. But if you are called out on it, embarrassment amongst your fellow dealer friends is egregious. When I proved it and I told him to use a ultraviolet light, and he'd be able to see, because epoxies are ultraviolet, or glue in most cases ultraviolet, you would be able to see the glue that was used to attach it. And when he did that, he actually did, this was over a course of a couple of days, and they were insisting, no, this is genuine, Shawn, this is genuine. Well, the whole deal fell apart. Truth be told came out. And then what it caused the dealer, not my friend, but the dealer, extreme shame, which that's the honor among the thieves, is you're shamed amongst your own kind in that type of market environment, and amongst the people that the people that buy and sell minerals, and the miners like that, they have their own kind of code of ethics that works for them. And in a case like that, if you do it, it's buyer beware. You just don't get caught. To be caught is, the worst thing that can happen, because it brings shame to all the dealers and all of them. So my friend that I had been working with, I had to raise my eyebrow, and I said to him, listen, if it wasn't for me, and he genuinely didn't know, I feel like he genuinely didn't know. He didn't know. Who would have possessed the knowledge it takes to know what forms and grows with what other than me? So there's so many other people that he could have passed this specimen on to, because you know what he was asking for technically would have been a great price for the look of the specimen. It's just that it was it was an assembled specimen. And you have to know in the mineral and mineralogy world, what specimens, what minerals are found together, what mineral groups are grown together, and some just do not fit with others and stood out. Overall, it really did end me doing business as trustingly, and I did one other buy from them because I couldn't resist. It was the Trilobites. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? That was the price he had to pay, was the shame on you price to my dealer friend. It's like, okay, well, if it wasn't for my knowledge knowing that this piece was assembled, you would have gone ahead and sold it to me. And he had to admit that. So anyway, it worked out in the long run because I got the next deal very inexpensively, but I didn't do any other business after that. But what I'm saying is, internet world, if you're not working with people that you know, if you're not working where you have a right to return anything like here at Gem Shopping, then it's on you. It's on your knowledge. And like I've told the story, and I will again in the future on the Galena geodes, if I can be fooled, anybody can be fooled. So clever, though, to put the red zircon with that specimen, because they do go. Good job, Miss Ursula. Spectrolite found in Finland is associated with the black-based color of the Labradorite that Miss Raven is willing to part with. It's becoming quite evident that she is a terrific collector in her own right. And you both are fortunate to have found each other. A perfect match made in rock-hounding heaven. Stay safe with all this crazy weather pattern and enjoy the cool fall air that is supposed to reach us by this weekend. Oh, we are. Cindy in Pennsylvania says, hello, Rock family. Wonderful show this week. I see you are on youtube.com. for the weekly show now. I get notifications because I am subscribed to How It's Done series. That's exactly the way to do it. Just subscribe, since you're subscribed to the How It's Done series. You will definitely want to subscribe to this show and the other. That way, when a show is posted, you'll be notified. And that way, if for whatever reason a show posts at a different time or day, you'll know better when and closer to that time when that's done. So highly suggest that for all of you. Let's see. That should get you more viewers. Yes, Cindy, it might. Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart is my favorite Poe, she says to Raven. And we were talking about the episode. We know it well. By many different other videographers have done that. Trivia. Now, you actually said albite and spectrolite. That's a tough one. And Miss Indian, Pennsylvania. But you know what? You are right. Albite is found in that type matrix, and it is a mineral. Boy, some of you are clever. Now, that was a great answer, because it's an answer that I was not considering, but it's one I had to accept. Albite is found exactly in that matrix. It's just not the one I was thinking of, but it didn't mean that your answer is wrong. So your name got thrown in the hat. Okay, all of you have a safe and healthy weekend. Cindy in Pennsylvania. Redeployed out to med surgery most days for the third round due to increasing COVID cases in our county. I am getting tired, boss. I'll bet you are, Miss Cindy. Hang in there. We so appreciate those of you really on the front lines. Miss Sue in Texas gets both the answers correct. No, I did purchase the amazing fern fossils. Thanks for finding it, Raven. Wow. Do I get any credit anymore? But I am still interested in the smaller double-sided one. So she's there. Write that down, please, ma'am. The multicolored lighted Himalayan salt lamp was so intriguing that I had to buy one. Told myself it would be a gift to someone, but I am thinking the someone is going to be me. Shawn, your fracture-filled diamond ruby lesson was eye-opening. Thanks. Yeah, I'm going to fine tailor that a little bit better on the fracture filling lesson so that we can see that, or maybe I'll take some still pictures so I can show that to you better. I think it's certainly worthy for educational purposes. And also, your the Himalayan salt lamps. I had told you that story. We could not keep them here when we offered them in the last show. So 200 of them or so, and everyone except a few we actually set back. Well, I told you my dad, when we had those, it was at least 10 years ago, he still has his exact same one sitting next to him. And there's actually scientific truth and principle to the ion, the negative ion thing that heat through the salt will create and make you feel better. So there is truth to that. I like that. Plus, I also went online, made sure, I only had 3 of them, made sure that what I was offering them for was less than anyone else had them at, and that did happen. Okay, now, trivia envy here. Only one I had, and you know what? I can't help it, so I want to know, Miss Sue in Texas, if this special trivia gift has any other special meaning to you other than super, super cool. Malachite box. This is where I, not in this particular one, but I told you before the story of my Malachite box, that it is where I kept my U-238. No, not the rock band. That's only U-2. U-238, fully blown radioactive uranium. So let's show you your wonderful trivia gift. And it was malachite is the only thing that actually kept the radiation from coming out of the box. So I actually have some experiments going on in the other one. If you wanted to, because I, experiment around. So I put the U-238 in with some white topaz. I was seeing if it's going to turn blue topaz, but it's a different radiation, a lot of fun, but it's just something to mess around with. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this. It's the only one I have, so sorry everybody else. And look at this, all malachite. It even has the stops. Now this is made so specifically that it fits in one particular way better than the other. So keep that in mind, and that is, let's see, yep, that's the way it is. Flush on all sides. Look at that malachite. And at one time, I think we had a couple hundred of these. And, this is a great story. Yes, an entire flat of them. And you know what happened? We were driving, and I had to stop fast, and the flat of these slid off the seat. Didn't break a single one of them, but what it did was knock the lid off of every single box. How many combinations do you think the lid and the box itself make out of 50 pieces? It was a combination that I couldn't even figure mathematically. And we had to sit there and go over and over every box and turning them both ways to match the lid to drop down in the base. Let me show you. Let me show you what I mean. So these little pegs are made to fit exactly one way. Okay, if I turn this around the other way, it doesn't line up evenly and won't fit the correct way. So we had to try. You know what? We got all the way down to only, I think it was 3 or 4 boxes we could not line up with the lids. But this is one that we just hung on to, and we don't even have any of these left for sale, but it was just going to be for someone special and lucky today. And a good day for all of you and all of the new family that is going to be joining this show through YouTube. Okay, let me tuck that one safely away, and we'll be right back to start the show. Okay, look at this. Now, you've seen me offer some smaller clusters before of the tangerine quartz, but nothing as showy as this. Look at that. Look at the size of that. Now, tangerine quartz, just so you know, this is hematite related. What you have, a lot of people will think, okay, well, the hematite is on the inside or part of the quartz. No, most of the cases, like in the golden healers and whatnot, the hematite can actually, if you accidentally do it, that's a shame, be removed. It is a iron oxide coating, and in this case, it's a hematite coating. And as we come in closer on the crystals, you can see that it is in, if you don't see it inside as like a phantom, then it is on the exterior. which if you go ahead and use a iron stain removing product trying to clean them up, you would remove that, and you don't. You don't want to remove that. It's more valuable. This is also, though, where you can find the phantoms in some of these where it's an internal growth. But this is, look at how beautiful this is. This is beautiful. These are, look at how well formed and shaped and the terminations of these crystals. Really showy. This specimen self-displays. It doesn't need a stand. Look at that. And in multiple different directions, depending on the look you want to create. I like that how Miss Barber has a white shelf, a white mantle where she puts all of her white specimens, and that's a neat way to do that. This also has some beautiful little reflective surface, kind of druzy growths on them, and we'll give you one more close-in look because we have this discounted. Oh yeah, we are starting off with some sale pricing. Yeah, you can see the little glimmers off of the surface of that, but look at the intense, really nice, heavy coverage of hematite. And these are Brazilian. These are Brazilian. You'll find some that are African. The Brazilian ones, they look different. They totally look different. And you can see the formation through there. And this would have been where it would have been attached. Price on this, I have it discounted to an opportunity in this size for sale right now. And making it only, wow, okay, let's do this. $54. Making it only $54. Now, let me show you item number 1026921. Now, on this one, there is so much goodies going on. You want to make sure that you write down any notes from what I tell you, because all the information would not fit in the on the tag. But you're gonna love the look. So I also flash up a little tag that I wrote into my handwriting. All right, so let's take a look what we have. Look at this crystal collection. There's nothing like it. Look at how beautiful. Now, this I call, look at this. Let me see if it sits up properly, because you know what? It looks like a duck. And I go straight about it. Look, it does. It looks like, look at that. Okay, doesn't that look like a duck? You know, if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, of course, that is Ethiopian Opal. And this is more just a fun piece as far as, only because of the shape that it's in. Kind of cute. You could, well, you can always make a piece of jewelry out of it. What do we have? Look at this, Madagascan Sphene crystal. Now, that's a big, nice Sphene, and beautiful wedge shape. Now, this is one of the rarest things up here, by far. And you can feel it by the weight. That is a Stanley Butte androdite. Stanley Butte androdite garnet. And of course, I'm going to also be offering a special, by the way, coming up. Those of you who are familiar with the Japanese rainbow iridescent garnets, well, this special move to YouTube is giving me an excuse to draw everybody into this great show, because I am going to offer a few more. We sold every single one of those Japanese rainbow garnets we offered, and it was because of the way I priced them. You're going to get another shot. I'm going to open up those a few more of those available for sale in the weeks to come. Do not miss out. Watch every show specifically for those. Now, the other fun thing that we use, let me finish going through these before I forget. This is a Vastness crystal, a very rare rare earth carrying element, and cerium being one of them, and others. It can contain a lot of different rare earth elements. Then also, look at this. This is a Russian, look at how clean it is, a Russian pink tourmaline crystal for some fun. And then scolecite crystals. Yeah, here's a couple, well, I guess you might call them crumbs. But scolecite crystals, you often don't get to see those just loose. Scolex is the name derived from Greek because these crystals, and if you wanted to, you could use one to see if it works underneath a blowpipe flame. curl up like a worm, and hence the name. Now, this is, of course, a name given hundreds of years ago, so I can't reproduce exact blowpipe situation. But, okay, then look at this. This is yellow beryl. This is yellow beryl. And let me make sure everybody is aware that yellow beryl, in many, many cases, is going to be a treated beryl. Yeah, to make it yellow like that. And so don't always think that it's going to be natural. Especially, let me show you. One way you can tell, for one thing, is almost this incredible color. But if you look really closely, this actually has tantalite in it, which we know and have seen tantalite. See the black crystals in there? Let me see if I can get this turned in the open window where you can look into it. And under magnification you see it. But there's actually rutile in it, and the classic look of what a tantalite crystal is that is found in aqua. And I have not known from the aqua deposit for there to be much golden beryl. There it is, right there. You can see it halfway down in the stone. But what a lot of fun. Look at the clarity of that. So it's a really neat, unique parcel. And let me show you one other thing. How do you tell your andradite garnets? Well, remember they're calcium iron. So let's see if we get a magnetic pull. And this is a neodymium magnet. Look at that. Look at that. And that garnet is heavy, very heavy specific gravity. But you have a very active, so you know iron is in it. So you know it's not a groschlite or other garnets that separates it out. And so just so you have it, you can always take a screenshot of that right there. Andradite from Arizona, Stanley Butte, Vastnessite, Pakistan, pink tourmaline, Russian, Skolosite, India, Sphene, Madagascan, opal, Ethiopian, yellow beryl with tantalite and rutile. Right there you go. The rest of the information is on the tag. Price on this parcel, a lot of information, not a lot of money. $28 on that. $28. What a neat little fun collection. You know how long it'd take and what effort it would take just to put together a collection like that. As it stands, yeah, a lot of time. Item 992521. 992521. Now, look at this. Speaking about rare earth minerals, elements, and whatnot, I have a standalone Vastnessite crystal. Look at this one. Look at this one. And you can see this has some of the nice crystalline face to it. You can see that it could easily be wire wrapped or made into, or it's just a nice thumbnail specimen. Look at that. That's kind of nice. Look at the clarity in that. And you can see almost a twinned, look at how well, look at that. I keep saying that because in the world of crystallography, and which is one thing I actually want to be, it's very, very difficult science, though, crystallography. That is desirable. It actually looks like you have a twinned crystal there. So this was from my own collection, and it was first named for the Vastness mine, and it can contain lanthanum, cerium, yttrium, and the rare thing about it is it's a carbonate, a fluorocarbonate. So it has fluorine, and it is a CO3. So remember we talked about calcite, CaCO3. We've talked about carbonate, siderite, rhodochrosite. This is one of the rare earth element carbonates, lanthanum, cerium, and yttrium. Yttrium, yeah. Yttrium aluminum garnet. Remember the YAG? You've heard of the YAGs. That was one of the first early diamond lookalikes from the I think in the 50s and 60s. And it just has a really, really high refractive index. But I actually have that formula in the description. The Vastness mine was from Sweden, one of the first discoveries. Price on this, you know what? I'm going to make it a deal for someone to add to their collection if you want to. $28 on that. $28 only. On that. Now, let me show you item 993921. 993921. Now, let me wipe this down as I take that away, ma'am, please. Let me show you. Now, this next opportunity is one of my favorite plechoic stones. Dichroic, plechoic. Plechoic because it's more than two colors in the direction you turn it. Andalusite. It's a hard stone, hardness 7, 7.5. And depending on the direction you turn it, look at that. It can go from an olive green to a copperish red. And that's what I think is so, get it, fascinating about it. Fascinating about it. And these stones are rather clean. It, to me, along with Sphene and one or two others I like, is truly an undervalued gemstone for what it should be, for its uniqueness. Look at the color change diaspora. Color change diaspora. Oh my, decades ago, you couldn't give the stuff away. And all of a sudden they marketed it, came out with 2 marketing names I'm not even going to repeat because I do not accept them. Neither does the Sibjo, the naming body. They're only, these names were derived from companies that created the name. And when really it's just color change diaspora, all right? So maybe that didn't sound very sexy or saleable. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. It actually told you what it is. The other names they came up with, you know, has nothing to do with the czars or the sultans of anything. And now the stuff's worth a bundle. So all it's going to take is people recognizing the look at the hardness of it. So it's got the hardness, has everything going for it. All right, so let me put these right there. Let's see where they're going to roll off to. There we go. Just put them at the. You can see I've had them for a while, and you know that just makes it a better opportunity for you. Let's see. We have a carat 90 in the 4 stones, and we're going to make those only $34. Oh wow, only $34. Now, item number 916319. We're incorporating a little bit of our Labor Day sale that we never got a chance to do because, you know, I've been really just bringing you in some beautiful, beautiful higher end, bigger pieces. So we've had a lot of fun with that. And I always intended to do, since we haven't done a show and go either, so this is kind of a combination of some new stuff I'm going to show you, some show and go, and some Labor Day sale items. So, yep, this item, 916319, let me show you. Look at this. This is what so many of you want. Oh, yeah. Doubly terminated Sri Lankan sapphire crystals. And let's see. 3, 6, maybe one's hiding. I'll have to adjust the quantity or add another one to it, but we'll make sure if we can just put in there 6 stones. That's all right. Now, what a crystal parcel. And you can always recognize sapphires as being Ceylon when you get this termination at each end of them like you do in a piece like this. Look at how big that is. And you have a blue end and a white end. These have been, I've seen them done up wonderfully as, you know, just creating freeform pendants in them. These are big. These are big. In the world of doubly terminated sapphires, I see a lot that are offered that are so much smaller. This is a nice, look at that, nice grouping. White, natural color. There hasn't been any kind of treatments done to these. That's what I think is so also very special about them. And wow, what a markdown opportunity. You won't have seen them at this price when you figure out, especially because they usually actually sold as a price per carat. $36. $36 for, wow, that's like $6 a piece. And those are, like I said, are the big ones which make the difference. Now, while we have everything the way I want it, and before I forget, I want to show you, we were talking about the Labradorite, then we were talking about Spectralite. So I want to show you the difference. The only Spectralite I could find was out of Miss Raven's jewelry box. So let me show you. This is not for sale, but I want to show you what, yeah, this is why Spectralite gets a different name than just Labradorite. It's on a very dark base background is what the Labradorite from Finland looks like. It's like black opal, almost like a black opal background, which always intensifies color. Look at the purple in that. Look at the purple. And then the back of that is also really really bright. Look at it. So when you get that much purple and you get that orange reddish colors, those are the really valuable kind of colors. And look, this is what I said. I told Raymond, I said, oh my, why did they not polish the back? You could have worn that as a double-sided piece. Look at that intensity. You just really don't find that very often in the Madagascan material. And that's why the Finnish spectrolite, the Finland spectrolite, really does stand on its own. All right, so just wanted to show you that. Now, let me go to item number 1027721. 1027721. Look what I have here for you. Now, this is malachite, but this is malachite a little different because I had set this piece aside to keep, and since we've been doing so much about malachite, including the free item today, let me show you. Okay, so when you see malachite and you have these botryoidal rises like that, if you sanded straight down flat on them, you would maybe and possibly find the circular pattern like you saw in that malachite box. Now, then last week you saw the fibrous malachite. When you get the crystals of malachite that grow so close together, they create kind of a fibrous fan spray look. Then you get something like this. And this is, we've looked at, pseudomorphs where you've had malachite replace azurite crystals. So you've learned and seen that. And of course, all these items are an opportunity to buy as well. But you haven't seen anything quite like this. These are freestanding crystals of about as big of malachite as you can find. And let me see if I can give you another little showing of what I mean. Let me show you the whole piece. Okay, here's the whole piece. We're going to look at the azurite over here too, which is kind of, look at that. Look at that azurite. Okay, and then as we wrap around to over here, and mind you, see the iron oxides and stuff, these things can be softly brushed out. Look it down in there. Okay, now let's go to, see if we just can't look a little bit closer here for a moment. And what you're going to see are individual malachite crystals. And they're some of the most intense colors. There you go. You can see them hanging off the edge of the void right there. Look at that. There we go. Perfect camera work there, Dave. Look at those individual crystals. That is the point I'm making. That is the malachite you don't often see. That is how they can determine the crystal formation, by actually having crystals big enough to see how the exact shape. Look at that, looking down into there. Oh, wow. If I was a little bitty person, I will go to my grave saying that. Look at that. Okay, so then there's some azurite around on those. There you go also. Look at those crystals right off of the top. Look at that. If that color green was big enough piece to facet them, wouldn't that be simply amazing for color? I mean, that would be an emerald. Look at this. Okay. And I could explore around underneath in magnification, but that's what you're going to do. That's when you get this at home. That's when you get out your loop and optimizer and magnification devices and start looking at, look at that bigger crystal right there, and enjoying it as such, because that's what I do. And it takes me forever to inventory. And I get some from something like this. Oh, the amount of time I could enjoy it and view it is endless. Price on this, it's only $24. $24, and I'm going to leave it to you to find any other minerals in there, because I think I saw a little cooperite. I'll let you leave it up to you to do the finding on it. Next item is 101 5221. Now this is a collector's piece. And let me show you. This actually has my label, but also an older label on this. And you can see calcite on malachite from the 79 mine. The 79 mine, for those of you familiar with Arizona and Gila County mines and minerals, that is a mine you want something to be from. It is well known. It's like having something from the Sweet Home mine or the Ray mine, something like that. This is calcite on malachite. Let me see, the Banner Mining District, let's see, it was closed in 1951. So I gave you as much information as I could. So this is no longer available since 1951. Now, this is one of those, as Miss Barbara said, one of these perky boxes, and I'm just going to leave it on the styrofoam material. So what you have is calcite on a layer of malachite from a mine that's been closed for 70 years now. Wow. Now that's a story to tell. I wish something as and even as so small as that, if it could just tell its little life story there, that would, well, you know, the hands it's passed through the people, the words that I would have said. I don't know. I think about that. I'm anthropomorphic. I tend to put human characteristics to inanimate objects. What can I say? Price on this guy, I don't know. We're going to make it an opportunity for someone to add a unique piece to your collection from a unique location. And if you actually look from the side, there you get a better view of, look at the calcite actually. And the action that needs to be appreciated that better in when you look at it with magnification, those calcite crystals make the piece. Price on this, $24. Only $24. You're really getting, you know, not so much the specimen, but you're getting, of course, the provenance, the history, the label, and the mine. Very distinct, well-known mine. All right, let me tuck a few items away here. We'll be right back. Okay, so as I was saying, this show is varied, and you're going to see, of course, everything. We've even featured some really nice fine jewelry. I just have a history of that, being a master goldsmith and being also a lapidary, meaning not only do I carve stones, but I also prospect for them. Yep, I'm a big prospector and go gold prospecting, gem prospecting here in North Georgia and in the 6 other continents that I've been to, including down in the mines in Lightning Ridge. Have a lot of mining experience. And, you know, like spelunking, you know, going back in a mine shaft is very similar to that. And I like both. So well suited to that. Now, what I have here is a fossil pendant combination. And I thought I'd bring these out here at this time of year because going not only into Halloween, a fossil is always a great idea for Halloween because there's always something kind of spooky, scary about some of them because you don't know what they are. These trilobites actually will come with information, each one with information. So they are great as a back to school or for a show and tell item that a child can take right off of his neck and use it as show and tell with that information. These are all completely natural. And let me show you. They are the trilobites. Now you've seen the big, large trilobites. Trilobites historically can get many feet across. This and in length. These are the Proatus, the variety Proatus. And it's very easy to see the compound eyes. It's one of the most developed eyes early on in the sea creatures. There was mostly only plant life on Earth at the time. Look at that. Now, these have just a very heavy duty non-precious metal, base metal bale, I guess you could call it, that is screwed and cemented down in there. So definitely for young or old, you could put these on a charm bracelet if you wanted. These are all really nicely prepared specimens though. And you can see every one of them. These are the only ones I have left. This one, out of all of them, mimics what the living relative to the trilobite still is, which is, of course, the horseshoe crab. The horseshoe crab, which if you've been along the beaches in the Atlantic and of course Chesapeake Bay, I think that they mate at a particular time of year where the beaches are just covered in them. I'd actually like to see that. So pendant, living fossil, so to speak, in the horseshoe crab, and they look still like it. Anyway, I am doing a special deal. Those are the last 5 we have. So I'm not going to be getting any more in the future. So if you want in on this deal, $21 each. $21 each. Don't forget your grandchildren or yourself. Also, a gift for the teacher, say the science teacher. Wouldn't that make a neat gift? Something that they could also use as a permanent part of their science study collection. I always say that because you never know where you're going to get your next scientist, your next rock hound, your next paleontologist. The bug's got to hit them somewhere along the line, and if you don't introduce people to it, then they won't have that opportunity. And I've always donated or redonated items that have been given to me that to schools. I think it's a good investment. They don't have the money to go out and buy fossils and items, but they certainly will have them forever if you donate cool pieces. I'm not just talking about these, but other fossil items in the future as well. Item 758018. 758018. This is one of the rare items that I'm actually giving a stand with. Look at this. Okay. Look at that. From a distance, you can see what's in this specimen, what it's all about. This is incredible. Emerald crystals. This is, and I should just put in the descriptor because there's really nowhere else it could come from. Let me see if I did or not. From the Crabtree mine. Yeah, I only put Spruce Pine District, but without a doubt, that type of formation is known very, without much doubt, to be from the Crabtree mine, which is, of course, the very famous emerald mine in that area. Look at this, and you can see that it's got hornblende, and hornblende is a broad variety name covering a lot of other type minerals. You can also often see what would look like actinolite, and because you get a greenish kind of cast to some of these crystals, a lot of people will automatically think, oh, look, there we go. There's the other green, not the emerald green. Here we go. See that olive green that stands out? But that could easily be the hornblende. But then you have the emeralds up there. Thank you, sir. So this piece could easily, look at those emeralds. Oh, could you imagine? This piece could easily be sanded, rounded up, and create a cabochon out of a portion of the emeralds, or leave it like it is, like Raven has, dangling right in her kitchen window. She actually has one of these pieces. So anyway, it is one of the few pieces that gets a stand. Just worthy of it, needs it, beautiful. And I have this sale priced. This is sale priced, which is like one of those, like, okay, we'll try to find one at a better value. How about this? Deeply discounted to be taken advantage of. Yeah. Think about this. If you went right now to Spruce Pine District and tried to find a specimen like that in a local rock shop for $44, not going to happen. Now, I've sprayed it with my own, with my inexpensive way to make something look shiny spray. But in the case of this, it also helps strengthen the bonding between the piece, and it would be something actually not bad to do. So just keep that in mind. All right, wow, only $44 on that. Now, this next piece, as I see, my time always runs out, but we still have a little time with you. But I have to plan down the road because some of the next specimens I'm going to be featuring for you and showcasing for you are going to take a little bit of time. But let me show you item number 1020121. 1020121. This is a amazing zeolite specimen. Now, we've been watching and seeing zeolites that were a whole lot bigger and different colors. Let me show you. Let's go in and start here. All right, so when you're looking at your zeolites, you know, you want to always, some of the more common ones would be stilbite. So when you see the terminations of those crystals like that in that kind of arrow formation, you know those are going to be stilbites. There we go, like that one. It comes kind of a, there we go, that one. All right, then, as you're looking at this, what you have is, wow, stilbites. Look at this, mixed with red heulandite. The red heulandite is a unique occurrence, and there was one pocket, an area of it found. That was it. The thing about this heulandite that makes it so different is most of the times, most of the heulandite that we're exposed to is actually as a base underneath other zeolites and then as crystals, but it's usually a pink color. Here we go. Here's the color, like more of a coral color that you see at the base of those. These heulandites happen to run up against a hematite and got a much stronger dose of a coloring agent in the hematite, making them have a stronger red look. And when they intermingle and grow together with the stilbites, that is a very attractive combination in a specimen. And then you just have your basalt base like that. Now, it's on a bed of quartz, and these are from the Yalgaon, Maharashtra area. And just simply stunning. Very aesthetic. Price on this? Yes, I am applying and going to make it less than it was. I am going to make this, and it's like, it shouldn't be marked down at all, but I'm doing it. $54 on this. Only $54 on that one. Let me give you another choice in this next specimen, item number 102-0321. 102-0321. Let's see what we can come up with. Sometimes I just don't know myself as I unwrap these goodies. Look at this one. All right, now this is another nice showy specimen. You have your group of stilbites here, your red heulandite on your base of quartz. And some of these, they actually are clever. And look at that. Look at that. And it's not here. Look, it's not it's not sitting on the pad. It's just, or did I tell a fib? Okay, you guys making me look bad. I guess it was leaning against there. Anyway, no, it's not. Here, I'm going to do a magic trick. Show you. Ain't messing with me like that. There. Does stand up on its own. That's worth an extra few bucks. Okay, just kidding. How about this? Okay, price on this guy? Yep, we're going to put it sale price as well. Make it only $34. $34. That makes it affordable for everyone. Now, a lot of people took advantage of this this next item, and let's see if anybody wants one. 101-9921, 101-9921. And these, this is that wonderfully fantastic blue Chalcedony straw formations. And you can see how attractive they are when they have a stilbite intersecting them. Look at that. And then here is just a beautiful straw formation. And then right there you have a stilbite as well. Look at that. Yeah, you almost want to think, see, it's almost like I'm reminded the way the center looks either of a Fulgurite or the hematite crystal cluster that grew around the limonite. That was from Mexico. But either way, simply a beautiful, look at this one, how it's twisted almost like a pretzel. How about this? Both pieces, I'm offering discounted again, $21 on those. Only $21 for both of those guys. Wow. Now, Next, yep, ready to go. Item number, okay, here we have item number item number 681517. 681517. Now, if you thought you saw them the other week, you were wrong. You saw them, but they were from a smaller turtle. I brought out the big poo this week. The big poo. And I'm not kidding you. You know, little did this poor turtle know 4 million years ago or so that its private moment was going to be forever ensconced in the process of petrification, where something turns into a rock and then displayed for all the world to see. Poor little turtle. What these are Madagascan, and the kind word is coprolite. That is the word given to fossilized prehistoric. We can't always just say dinosaur because they may not be from a dinosaur, but let's just say extinct and very old animals. In this case, they figure they were turtles. Now, if you want some smaller sizes, you can go back a couple shows, and I think we have smaller sizes that we were offering for like $10 a piece. But I did not know that I had the big poo. And so we were digging a little deeper, and wow, we hit the gold mine for it. We have, look at this, look at how big these are. And you know what? When someone sees that, it's a conversation piece, because, or, you know, it's one of those deals, instead of throwing in what is it? Instead of throwing in the Snickers bar into the pool.
Baby Ruth.
Yeah, Baby Ruth, yeah. Instead of throwing the Baby Ruth into the pool, well, you throw one of these into the pool, sink to the bottom, you have the pool to yourself in no time at all. And, or so how the urban legend goes for such a thing. But in the case of this, it's not a candy bar. It's the real thing. It's the real thing. But you will want to recover it, because this is actually something of value. I'm only asking $15 a piece for these. Take however many you want. No limit to it, because you know what? At only $15 a piece, this is something, again, that will get someone's attention and make them interested in the earth sciences. It may be something as simple as this. Whether you're older in life or younger, it triggers imagination and triggers wonderment. These all come with a label, and you can see that if someone saw that and you said to them, what does that look like? I think 100 out of 100 people would say exactly what they are. In other words, they look like exactly what they are. And that is the amazing, amazing thing about the petrification of these. Now, of course, they're completely rock solid hard, and, you know, there's no, they're perfectly, well, I want to say sterile, but of course there's going to be microbes, but they're rocks. They're rocks, okay? So they don't have any scent, they don't have any smell, and they're just hard as a rock. And they are what they are. You know, your collection would not be complete without one. I just hate to say it. It just would not be complete without having one of these. Now, here's the other fun thing you can do. Get one of these and leave it on your coffee table. Leave it on your coffee table. Or you know what? Leave it around on the floor somewhere. Especially if you have a pet. Think about the endless fun you could have for only $15. Endless, endless fun. Put it in the bottom of a drink, somebody's drink. I mean, I don't know. My mind's going everywhere. How about yours? I don't think any more needs to be said. The thing that needs to be said is, I only have, in this large size, what you're seeing. And there's not a bad one in the bunch. It is one, I hand selected them. I hand selected these. Don't miss out. This is the large size, and these go for a lot more money. And just a excellent representation of going back millions of years to for it to be petrified molecule by molecule like that, I think is a great testament to why, you know, and I've been out to the Petrified Wood National Forest, and why a tree limb still looks like a tree limb all these years later. It's a stunning process that Mother Nature does. All right, now let me get those put up and out of the way, and I'll be right back. All right, now, arguably, Arkansas quartz is some of the world's finest, without a doubt. If you are looking for clear white, no impurity quartz, believe it or not, right here in the United States, you know, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Well, with Hot Springs, that's considered a hydrothermal solution. Okay, those hot springs, whether it be out west, wherever they are, that is hot water that is brought up through the ground. Now, of course, under that kind of heat, you're going to have dissolved mineralization in that water. Now, you've heard me talk about hydrothermal deposition and hydrothermal etching of other crystals. Well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about solutions and crystals that are formed and created by the deposition of minerals that are carried in a hydrothermal solution. Sulfur crystals. When I was in New Zealand, really, it was amazing. And of course, you know, you don't touch any of those items. You respect all park rules. And boy, no quicker way to be harmed than to be near one of those fumaroles or a hot mud vent, like I was in the South Island of New Zealand, North Island as well. And in one little pool, I was able to I saw 4 pieces of wood in the bottom of this crystal water pool with this hot water venting up around it. And it really made me see how, over time, molecule by molecule, the wood could be replaced by silica, carried by that hot water. And I just didn't have a few million years to come back and look at the limbs and see the difference. But it was neat to see the wood actually laying in a hydrothermal solution to where this kind of activity could occur. Now, hydrothermal solutions actually form many different crystals and minerals, because you get the high temperatures that have the high rate of dissolution. And that's also where, you know, you bring a sugar solution to full saturation. That's where the hotter a solution is, the more, let's just use terms of sugar, the higher the amount of sugar that can be dissolved in the water, the hotter the solution. When that solution starts cooling, the saturated solution is going to want to crystallize out. Those additional molecules cannot be carried at a lower temperature, and that's how you get a lot of crystalline growth. Well, in Arkansas, not only do you have the United States' only viable diamond kimberlite pipe, and that's one place I've got to go. I can't believe I've never been, where I know I can find some diamonds. I just know what they look like in the rough. But also, it is known for its quartz. And as is Georgia. Georgia's well known for amazing amethyst. Here's 4 pieces of Arkansas quartz. And you can see, look at the quality. Like, look at this one crystal. I mean, just beautiful high quality. Look at this, with no discoloration due to impurities. And that is what some really fine Arkansas quartz is about. Now, I had a friend. He went out there with his whole family. It was in the middle of last summer. Or maybe it was the year before even. The kids, no air conditioning, drove in all the heat, and he went out to the Arkansas mines. There was, in this small area, he said, they listed over 700 different mines or deposits that they had were available for people to go to. Well, the quartz he brought back was laughable. I wouldn't have paid the entrance fee if you're looking to do it for value. It wasn't even, the stuff in our rock garden was way beyond it, you know, by way of quality. You know, a lot of the fun, of course, I understand, is digging for it. But then, you know, if you don't stand a chance, this was old stuff. And someone called it a mine. It should have really never been. It was some little seams and bugs that had some crystals in it. Nothing. Look, this one is just a beautiful, beautiful piece. So the quartz, though, that I was able to work with, not from digging it myself or from a mine, but working directly with the mine owners. This is not the kind of quartz you can go dig in Arkansas. This is the kind that is dug at a professional level to be sold into the wholesale market, and you don't have your day diggers coming out digging this material. And so it's not available. This is not something that you're going to find, basically. If you did, there's like 3 levels of quality below what you're looking at here. This entire parcel of 4 pieces, it's over 600 grams, so 454 grams to a pound. Anyway, $58 for all 4 pieces. So you're looking at less than, you know, less than 16, you know, 15, less than $15 each. Which if you went out to a rock shop and tried to get a piece like this for $15, you couldn't do it. Not out there. They think a lot of their quartz in this quality. And, you know, rightfully so. It's some beautiful material. But let me tell you, unless you're already set up or know someone that knows, you know, someone or where to go, most of all the mines out there will not produce that material if you're trying to dig your own. Just saying. Item number 1027221. 1027221. Let me show you a bigger specimen of the same. Look at this. This is a small cabinet specimen, which offers everything. Look at this on a plate. Okay, as we come, look at that. As we come in close, wow. Look at that. Look at the clarity in these crystals. Look at the size to some of these. And just served up on a nice quartzite bed. This, as a single specimen, would say it all. So you could, you know, in a Arkansas quartz, it just represents everything. Look at that neat little crystal coming off the side. Perfect, clear, white clarity, no other color. Look at that gorgeous termination. Big crystals. Just a really nice, pretty piece. Could be displayed a couple of different angles. And yeah, look at that. Look at that. All right, price on this guy. You're going to love it. $44. Only $44 on that. Okay, now I have a couple bigger items that are going to take a few moments to talk about, so we better get started on them. First, one of my favorites, 1018021. 1018021. For any of you out there that have not seen our true gemstone knives, well, here is one of them. When I first saw this handle from a distance, I thought, wow, look at that. That looks like ocean jasper. And it does. It looks very much like ocean jasper, but it is not. It is Mexican bird's eye rhyolite. And we have sold all kinds of different rhyolite in many different forms, including a reddish bird's eye rhyolite. This, it's signed right there, KJ. This forms a rhyolite that takes a really nice polish. Rhyolite is a magma-produced item. In other words, comes from volcano. And this comes with a label known as Black Bird's Eye Rhyolite and the Obsidian blade, Rainbow Obsidian from Davis Creek, California. And this knife, both of these were handcrafted by my friend. His wife does the hafting. She dyes this material and attaches the blade to the handle. Both are notched to fit. Let's take a look at this blade. this blade is completely hand napped, pressure napped, where he flakes each of those flakes off, as you can see, leaving a smooth finish on top and a very sharp blade at the bottom. Now, as we turn this, you'll be able to see, if we catch the light right, the rainbow colors to the blade, including greenish to purples in this. And a lot of times it all has to do with the angle of the light as far as bringing out those colors. And the way you can see the curvature, the way this has been napped, he often follows the curvature of the colors in it. Now, I know that this has a deeper purple color tone to it. And I have seen this in this blade. And I love the shape of the blade that how he's done this, letting it arc up here at this point. And it also has some wonderful sheen to it as well. You can see there's some blues and purples and some greens coming in this, and you can see a purple, there we go. Look at the purple right there. There we go. Dave bringing out the color that's in it. The sunlight, of course, is the best source to be able to see that. You can see that purple line running all the way through it. And then oftentimes you have to flip them over and turn them the other way to catch the color, just due to the angle that the inclusions actually are in it. I actually saw what looked like, see those little reflector sheen, just like you would get in a silver sheen, or look at that. Look at all those little sparkles in there. So this, and then there's the purple. So doing a double duty there, and that blade is sharp. I have cut myself many times over the years in offering these for sale. Look at the size of that. That is a true gemstone knife. I've seen other knives be called gemstone knives, and in this metal handle, they'll have a little cabochon or something like that, and then get these ridiculous premiums and make it a big deal. These are the real deal. This is the real deal. Every bit of this is handcrafted, handmade. Let me just sit it on the stand there for a moment. There we go. And can be beautifully displayed. Beautifully displayed. So, opportunity on this one, you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe it. I am, this is going to be one of the lowest prices I have ever put on one of those knives this size. So let's do this. Let's put a true big time discount on it to $178. $178 on that. Wow. Wow. Can you imagine actually the time it would take to polish and cut a cabochon that large in the handle? And then I've seen him, when you are working with Obsidian versus Flint, Flint is a much harder, non-crystalline, massive rock, and it will flake off in a conchoidal pattern if you hit it, right? That's flint napping. When you're working with something that is the consistency of glass, you have to pressure flake it. He takes a little, like this metal object, and pushes it against there and will literally flake it off one piece at a time. Imagine getting at up towards the end doing that, and then breaking the end and your entire work. That happens. That happens. And that would be heartbreaking. So, excellent opportunity on that knife. Oh, it's also signed and dated. And this is pretty cool. It's an old one, which I think is neat. Of course, provenance and whatnot. You know, people's lives can always change, as we know from the pandemic. And once they're unable to continue their craft for whatever reasons, the ones in existence automatically become rarer and, to me, more valuable. So haven't spoken to Kelly in a bit, but need to touch in with him and see what he is up to. All right, this next item, it's a stunning world-class collector's piece. World-class even being in the subject matter and on the tag. 102-7521. 102-7521. This does what I love it to do. It stands up on its own. Look at this. No, you got the colors right. Those are green. This is one of both Ravens and my favorite specimen. This, believe it or not, is a Sphalerite specimen. Sphalerite on dolomite with some of the finest little tetrahedrite crystals, and it has Sphalerite in both of its moods, so to speak. Not only in the clear variety, but also in the metallic variety. Now, as we come in closer on this, let me just wow you. Okay, there we go. Dave says, let's look at this one. Let's look at this one. Look at the color. Look at that is Sphene. How many times have you seen faceted Sphenes that color? Yeah, and you could. I mean, there is some in here that could facet stone, but you wouldn't want to remove them, even though that's how they do it. They can remove this. As we travel around this piece, let me just go to some others. Look at this. Look at these pieces. Then let me just kind of show you. Let me dim this light down with my finger. Here we go. Look at how many. Look at how many. And remember, Sphene can be come in many other. Let me travel down here. Here we go. Look at another huge Sphalerite crystal. Big Sphalerite. I was thinking Sphene. If I said Sphene, I was getting my Sphene and my Sphalerite mixed up. Both because have extremely high dispersions. In other words, when they're faceted, they have a incredible dispersion of colors. And in the world of Sphalerite, in a transparency, this is actually a rare color. You don't see this color very often. You'll see an orangish color more often. And look at how many of the smaller ones. And I say how many of the smaller ones because we're going to look it down here. Now, in a moment, let me travel over here. I'm going to show you why I make it a point. And here we go. Look at all these others. Thank you, sir. All right. Now, point being, since we can look up here now, there we go. Look at this. Okay, look at these. This is Sphalerite. It's a zinc sulfide. And then, boom, you get to these. You see a little bit of green right there. But what are these? I don't see any light passing through these. What are these? And look at these. These come to a pyramidal point, right? This is the Sphalerite that they use as a zinc ore. Except in this case, there's some beautiful crystals, actually. So this is Sphalerite as well. It's just not the gem quality. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Any one of these crystals, just by itself. And look at it right next to this other, which is completely opaque. Completely opaque. I mean, it is that stark charcoal black. Basically, that's a great color name for Sphene is a charcoal black, because that's really what you're looking at. Right next to that incredible color crystal. And then coming down here, look at this big one. Look at this. Look at the size of that compared to my finger. Look at that. Others over here. And then right next to it, you have crystals that are completely opaque. Same thing. Sphalerite. Look at how well formed they are. That's what makes this a world-class specimen, is often how well defined the crystal shapes are. And you can just see what a unique and rare color the Sphalerite is. Now look at the beautiful creamish color, pinkish cream color base that these are on. Now, those are just the big ones I was showing you. If you get to looking at this, this has much smaller, little tiny green ones dotted all around it as well. And then there's something else. Look at it, looks like gold. Is it? I wish. Oh, not quite even fool's gold. Calco Pyrite. Calco Pyrite. And a bunch of it. Look at the beautiful crystals of Calco Pyrite mixed in with this. Again, exploring down here. Look at that color. Look at that color. That is not a common color for Sphalerite. It is for Sphene, but not Sphalerite. Look at the back. The back, wonderful Calco Pyrite intermingled with the matrix. This is, let me show you the side. Look at it. Look at that. This is a world-class specimen. And in many places, it would be museum quality. It also sits up on its own, even on something soft. So very stable. This is a real showstopper for a specimen. Now, I have, it's from the Huaron mines. I don't think I had all the room, the Huron mines in Perugia. Price on this, I have discounted it just because, to get the attention and excitement of everything. You saw how much less expensive those scolicites were compared to the price that they were being offered for on supposedly the discount internet site. I mean, mine, I was selling the one at a tenth or an eighth of the price as to what they were going for. This piece, only $388. Only $388, and it's one of those, okay, well, go find another one that's that cheap, that offers that much oomph. I think the dispersion of the number of Sphalerite crystals, opaque versus the green color, is just the right amount. And then overall, it's just the right amount altogether. Not too much Sphalerite, not too little, just the right amount. Now I'm looking, I want to see one more crystal. That one was looking like it was a more of an orange color. Now, one more thing. Yes, I almost forgot. Let me show you. I think it was over here. If we can go straight down in on this little patch, that's what I want to see. Look at the top of these crystals, these quartz crystals. That's what we didn't even talk about, the quartz. They are perfectly formed. And when you look straight down on them, it almost looks like you're viewing into the crystal. Well, one thing is the dolomite has formed and grown on top of many of the crystals. The other really, let me see, attractive thing. We didn't look at these cool pockets of quartz crystals look at the Calco Pyrite. And there probably is even some pyrite mixed in. What I wanted to show you, if I can find it, but this is where you get it home and you have the fun with it. Right down on these. What it is the termination of the quartz crystals, just the very tip of them, are polished. The sides of the quartz crystals are naturally frosted. So right here, this kind of tells you right there. So just those top angles of the crystal have a natural, bright, clean polish or finish to them. And the sides are frosted. So what that does, when you look straight down onto them, it creates a window right into the crystal. It just is a real unusual look. As you can see here from the side, I mean, it looks like a city. And you didn't even really notice all the quartz crystals until you look at the piece for them. And then you realize just how attractive all of them are. Because almost all that dolomite is sitting and growing on those quartz crystals. If you stripped away the dolomite, it'd be a whole bunch of quartz all over. Anyway, just a neat little additional side item. Okay, I'm going to put that away. And when I come back, you're going to go, be right back. Just when you didn't think they could get any better, I have Miss Gabby now going, yes. And it's not really one I was that familiar with that we had tucked this one away. Raven knew much more about it than I did. And when I saw it, I gave that same expression. This is scolecite on top of stilbite. And until you, like on the internet, it drives me nuts when someone doesn't put their hand with an item so you get some idea of size. Because until you have a reference, it could be a $65 specimen. Well, not the case here. Look at my hand. Look at how big this is. This is on a bed of incredible stilbites. This is pink scolecite. Pink scolecite. And it is a jungle of them as well. And let's see how quick it takes Dave to find a Lomantite. Yep. Lomantites, as we discovered in the specimen last week, are with this specimen as well. And Dave said his hair looks like this. Look at these. These are an incredible natural array of crystalline growth that it's really hard to capture how beautiful this is. Let's go right over here, down at the base here and start. I'll pick this up in a moment, but oh, there we go. I saw some Lomantites. Look at this as I reel this back a little bit. The crystals wrap around and go back underneath here. That right there is going to be a Lomantite. Lomantite are going to be the white opaque crystals that will often terminate at an angle. I'm going to show you more of that. But if we move to the right, over here, look at this. Look at this beautiful spray. How the stilbites have just kind of grown into or around it. Now, I'm picking this up. So far, no crumbs from it for the most part. Now, the pink, the natural pink color isn't from anything else. It's actually in the scolecite, which out of all the ones we have, this is the only one that had any pink color tones. You have all that miniature micro growth of additional crystals. Look at those spray coming off of there like that. There is not an unattractive angle about this piece. Now, there we go. As we look into this piece, all those other little white crystals, for the most part, that you see growing on the scolecites, there we go. Dave's taking us right down into the belly of his hairdo. And that's what you're seeing right there are Lomantites. See that white opaque, those white opaque crystals? That is Lomantite. And I showed you how little difference there was in the crystal formula. Look at all the Lomantites just growing right along there. That's, it's almost unnoticeable if you're looking at it from one particular angle. Look it down in there. Change the angle. Focus through all the planes as Dave is doing. And they're there. Another mineral to behold. Look at that. Look at that. All that is Lomantite, which may be in some of the original ones that I sold. I just didn't spot it. So anybody that has any of those other scolecites, the smaller ones even, look at them for them to have. Look at, there we go. addition. Look at all those. Look at all those small Lomantites. And let me pick this up. Now I'm going to do something here. And let's just show you the bottom of this. Maybe. All right, I'm going to hold this here, Dave. You give us a tour. Look at back in there. Look, there we go. There's a big one right there at the end of my finger. You should see there. There's a perfect classic Lomantite. You see how the termination is angled back. In other words, it doesn't end in a flat top. It looks like there could be right there, like those could be some Hewlandites actually. So this could be looked at to have additional zeolites. Could be an apophyllite actually. Now let's turn this around and show you this side of it. Right down there. Look at that. Look at that. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Wow. You have stilbite growth and Lomantite. Look at that spray. I'm going to try to hold this very bravely. And Dave's going to show that to us. The bottom side. Oh, look at that at the end of my finger. That little group right behind there. You should see what I'm trying to do. It's like playing Twister. Look at that. That right there. What in the world? That's Lomantite. That's a cluster of Lomantite right there. Wow. Wow. Now, look at all the other formations. This stuff is so fun. This is what rock hunting and minerals and gems, you know, Mother Nature did all this. All these crystals crystallized out at different temperatures and points. He's trying to get me to raise my hand off this. Look at those sprays coming off of the bottom of this. I mean, wow. But, you know, I've picked it up this whole time and nothing has come off of it. Of course, you know, they're not quite as fragile as it always may seem. One more look. Look at this. Straight from above. Look at that. Okay, take us one more time. Right down in about, right to the right of center there, Dave. Oh, see, that's, there we go. That's as beautiful as a zeolite can get. That's just stunning. You know, if something like this, look at that, was on the cover of Rock and Gem, we would all ooh and ah and say, oh, that belongs in a museum, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, they do. This one does. This one is absolutely museum grade. And it is one that we enjoyed it, but it's one that has to be parted with. I think Raven has been enjoying it probably more than I, but we actually had this in a place where it would not collect dust and or minimum. But let me tell you what I did, and this is, I don't know if it's even a good suggestion. It just happened to work for me. Zeolites, remember, absorb and dissipate water. And on the Lomantites, they actually say you should spray them kind of like a plant, keep them a little moist. But to actually clean them, I took her, oh geez, you should have heard how difficult it was. I said, all I want is a oval cooking pan. But it was her grandmother's cooking pan. You know, it was oval so it would fit the specimen in deep enough. I mean, I had just done a Boston butt roast in it and for pulled pork, you know, days before. But no, when it came to a rock, it was like, come on, but it's a rock, darling. So she acquiesced, and what I did, I filled it up. And then all I did was putting a towel underneath it so I could raise it up and down and get my hands in it. I put it down in the towel, and guess what? All the dust, all the lightweight stuff, all floated up and out of it. I thought I was a genius. And then I used like a baster to just gently squirt around the crystals. And that's how I cleaned it. Gorgeous. This one, so it hasn't been able to be out right front and center only because of any other kind of, but what a great mantelpiece. You know, it's a great mantelpiece. It's a piece, you know, not to have out with your children running around, but look at that. Look at that. All right. So, you know, this easily in a real rock and mineral place that kind of carries this, you'd see a price $3,000, $4,000 on it. You know, $2,000 would be a great deal. I bought these, right? I've told you all that, and I am offering this. It's not going to be discounted from this price because it is certainly worth it and more. But price on this is only $648. Only $648. You know, worth that and so very much more. Now, let me tell you, it's not going to get any better than this one. Raven did say she has one other one, but it doesn't have all the oomph factor. Beautiful nonetheless, but just not quite all the oomph on that one. So keep that in mind. This one, let it find a home so I know where it went. I have only a moment with you. Let's look at 1027321. 1027321. Now, I'm just going to leave this here because I don't want to move it again for the moment. Look at all the, well, very few crumbs considering, but let me show you what I have out for you. I only have a couple of these left. I bought a flat of these and they didn't really know what they had as come to find out. Calcite from Utah, from the Gold Hill mine. And calcite is this bright green material. And this also has a little speck of azurite, quartz, but let me show you. I need to get a pointer here. Some of the highlights. Let's zoom in for one thing right in this area right here. Now, all the calcite pictures, there's no large crystals. All of it are just these little tiny crystals, but they are stunning when they are magnified. Look, you can see a little bit of a light blue coloring here. Some other mineralization. Oh, wow. See, just when I think you can't do any more for me, Dave, because that's exactly what I want to show you. Here's the highlight in this particular piece to me. And let me go ahead and point it out and have Dave give you the tour. All right, let's look at right here. Don't look at the magnetic tip to my tweezers as we come in right here. That bothers me. Let me get another pair of tweezers. Look at this crystal that you're looking at right there. Now let me turn this around. Keep your eyes focused on that crystal. It is a doubly terminated quartz crystal, like a little Herkimer almost. Here we go. Look at it. It is perched on top of a stalk of calcite. And there we go. When I get the right angle, you can see with my flesh behind it. But there we go. There we go. That's the angle. Look at the calcite not only growing on it, but I think there's some actually internal. Look at that. And that is how it's done between camera work and camera work. My part is not very much except to try to hold it steady and find the areas of interest. Isn't that neat? Is that piece not neat? That could go overlooked for decades by a collector. And to me, that one crystal sells it all and says it all. The other thing is, look at this. Look right in here. Look at this cavern. Look at this cavern. To me, I think of myself as a miniature little person, and then look at exploring down in there. Wow. Wow. There's a little bit of azurite. As you can see over here, there's some more to explore. And I'm going to let whoever's the lucky buyer get in on that and check the rest out. Price on that, only $54. Only $54. And we're going to come right to the last item of the show. And let's make it a big version of something you saw earlier. 1014121. Look at this. Here is Trilobites. Here are look at, now you say, okay, now I see the horseshoe crab. Yeah, a bigger version of it, right? This is a different variety, but again, 400 million years old. And this is how they're found. This is the positive and negative image of it. And this is, I've got the type in the description on the tag. What a fantastic piece for any collection, or again, for any show and tell, or to take to school. You can see how big that is. And again, it's, look at that, display beautifully. I didn't realize how much they're asking for these now, because I had gotten mine many, many, many years ago. Price on this, let me discount it as well. Make it only $54. Only $54. That's the last item of the show. We'll be right back with, yes, that trivia question. Okay, as usual, did all of you have as much fun as I did? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I look silly, but when I start tilting and looking into a specimen and getting the loop out and wanting Dave to shoot through the loop and do all these fantastic things, I mean, that is nothing but passion for the game, passion for what I've had since I was 11 years old and Raven at 10. And even though I'm a little bit older, so I've been doing this a little bit longer. As all of you continue to follow each week's episode, I think you're going to learn just more and more just how passionate I am, to the level of that some of you are. I mean, look at Miss Gabby and her husband John putting together that incredible turquoise table, only to donate it to a university's geology program as in the meeting room, and so much more. So I'm in like company. And now that this podcast is going to be able to be viewed on YouTube, it's going to expand to many others that hopefully that passion will reach, because we need more rock hounds. So don't forget to watch this show now. Go to YouTube and type in gem shopping, and all the YouTube channels, they call them, will pop up, including you'll also be able to see the how it's done or the how-to videos. If you have not seen those, you'll be able to get to see, choose the title, choose the item you want to watch. Look at how many people, other people have enjoyed watching them as well. And you're not going to be alone. It was quite surprising, and I don't know, it felt good to realize that we're not alone. So also you can find me by just going to gemshopping.com and ask Shawn. You'll see my little area, and then for the comments, ask Shawn. Also to answer the trivia. It'll all be in the same area and easy to follow it from there. And once you do it once, then you know how to do it every time. Spread the word. Tell your friends and neighbors even more so now. This is a great opportunity for a podcast that's been, having a show every week for over 4 years now. And I have been here with a show of one kind or another for close to 14 years. So a long established pattern of always being able to bring you a show as well. We've missed very few. And if we do, we hate to hear the disappointment in all of your voices. So this is hopefully going to reach more people, and this hobby could stand more people and more passion to get in touch with Mother Earth. That Zeolite specimen, there's no human method, whether it's a 3D graphic making machine, a CAD CAM, or even hand carving and assembling a piece, cannot create something as stunning and amazing as a Zeolite specimen or a complicated crystal cluster with multiple other mineral growths in it. That's the cool stuff. That's the stuff, well, you can't fool Mother Nature. And that is so true. With that said, if you have any trouble finding me, you can always call customer service here at Gem Shopping or with any other issues. But this is a show that's going to just get better and better for you. And I appreciate so many of you existing friends and clients. And I look forward to so many more of you as well. Now, to the trivia question. So remember, to answer them, you can just go to Gem Shopping and the Ask Shawn part and can answer them right there. Instructions, very simple. And to receive the item, if you're the lucky enough to be to answer the item correct. And we've been doing this a long time. There is some people that have won 15 and 20 times or more. So if you don't think you can't win, no. A lot of winners we've had. And you saw that Malachite box. We just don't give away a little couple dollar item. There's been some amazing things given away. So you'll want to get with the program on this. All right. The questions we have this week. And for the first time ever, this first question is a multiple, not guess. That's what you did in high school. Multiple guess. No, this is a multiple answer. So I'm going to read, and you're going to just choose which is the correct one. All right. The rare earth mineral Vastnessite, which I featured not only a single crystal of, but also a crystal that was part of a crystal parcel. So we talked about it. Now, they group minerals and gems into what type of chemical category it falls in. Like, for an example, ruby and sapphire, they're oxides. Chemical formula Al2O3. 2 parts aluminum, 3 parts oxygen. It's considered an oxide. Belongs to the oxide group. Calcite. Calcite, we've talked about it. Ends in CO3. Belongs to the carbonate group. And so on. So here, what rare earth mineral called Vastnessite, what group does it belong to? A, is it a silicate, as in beryl family, which is emerald and aqua? Those are silicates. A, is it a silicate? Or is Vastnessite B an oxide, like as in ruby and sapphire, aluminum oxide? That's B. Or is it C, a carbonate, as in calcite or siderite or malachite? Is it one of those, a carbonate? Or D, is it a sulfide, like sphalerite, which we showed you today? That's a zinc sulfide. Which one of those 4, A, B, C, or D, is Vastnessite? And your second question is, what is the name of the best known emerald mine in the United States? In the United States. What is the name of the best known emerald mine in the United States? All right, that's it. Answer both those questions correctly, and you will be eligible to win a very cool trivia gift. Now, I have can't wait every week to bring you this show. And I hope all of you continue to support the show, bring in as many other people as you can, and let's spread the word. Let's spread the hobby. Let's make sure that a rock isn't just something you skip across a lake. That said, God bless. Thank you all again, and I can't wait to see you next week. Cheers.